Hey everybody, I'm Ethan, and today I'm going to be checking out the Yadea KS5 Pro electric scooter. The commuting scooter market is probably the most crowded electric scooter market, with tons of options that have around a 20-mile-an-hour top speed and a motor power ranging between 350 and 500 watts. And with so many options in this segment, it's very easy for any individual scooter to get lost in this crowd. On paper, the Yadea KS5 Pro has a lot to offer with front suspension, a big battery, and a relatively powerful motor. But the price of this scooter does vary depending on where and when you find it, as I've seen it listed between $650 and $850. So if you can find it for the right price, is it a scooter worth considering? We're going to take a look next on Now Let's Review. Alright, so here we are with the Yadea, I don't know, Yadea KS5 Pro. This is a pretty nice looking scooter. I like the design. I'm a fan of the black and orange color scheme. Getting into some of the stats, this has a 36 volt, 15.6 amp hour lithium ion battery with a claimed range of 37.2 miles and a charge time of 8 hours. That battery powers this 500 watt hub motor, which gives this scooter a top speed of around 22 miles an hour. First thing I want to talk about is build quality, because some parts of it feel pretty cheap. Like a lot of the plastic parts that I'm seeing on the handlebars, like the thumb throttle and everything, don't feel like they're super high quality. But I can't hear it like creaking or anything, or there's no weird rattling noises while I'm riding. It's well put together. It just seems like some of the parts are a little bit on the cheap side. Let's test the acceleration from 0 to top speed. So good flat section of the road, and here we go. I mean, the acceleration really isn't that strong. It's a 500 watt motor. It's not exciting, but it does the job. It gets the job done. Bottom of the hill, we're gonna go, obviously just full throttle, see how well it does getting up. And you do have to push off the scooter first. It doesn't have throttle instantly. You do have to get it going first. So here we go. In sport mode, why would you be in any of the other modes? Still accelerating, hill's starting to get steeper. 13, 14, but it's still going. Not a problem at all. It does have a headlight in the front here, as well as a brake light in the back that flashes when you squeeze the brakes. It is IP54 water resistant as well. As you can see, the scooter does have front suspension. Now, it doesn't have a lot of travel, and I'll talk more about that when I'm riding, but it is something that not a lot of scooters in this category have. We also have solid tires. These are not air-filled, not pneumatic. These are solid tires. So 10-inch tires. Great that you don't have to worry about punctures like you would if you had air-filled tires. Now, obviously, solid tires don't have as much shock absorption as air-filled tires, but the trade-off is you never have to worry about flats. Scooter's very easy to ride. It's nice and agile. Yeah, going around this little cul-de-sac here, oh God, there's a bunch of crap on the ground, but handled it perfectly fine. So as I mentioned, the scooter does have front suspension, and although it doesn't have a lot of travel, it compresses enough to soften bumps noticeably more than if it was a solid fork on the scooter. So like, I'll go over this storm drain here, which is probably gonna hurt, but actually, you know what? That was really surprisingly smooth. The way the scooter rides is quite comfortable. What's also nice about this is the fact that it's so quiet. It barely makes any motor noise, and some scooters like this will have like a pretty noticeable whine. I mean, it makes a lot of grinding brake noises, but it's because it's wet, and there's a bunch of crap in the brakes. In the front, we have a drum brake, and in the back, we have a disc brake mechanical, along with regen braking from the hub motor. All right, 22 miles an hour, we're gonna do the brake test. It's gonna be almost all rear brake. Ready? Full brakes. Yeah. The back tire locked up completely, left a big old skid mark. So I'm gonna have a little bit of a flat spot on the back tire. Hopefully it shows up all right, but the screen on here is pretty good. It's nice and simple. Shows your speed here, your headlight indicator, what mode you're in. So you can switch between pedestrian mode, which is only like 3.5 miles an hour. A D, I don't know what that stands for, but it's like, I don't know, 10 to 15 miles an hour or something. And then sport all the way up to 20 miles an hour. It also shows your battery level here as well. So you can get a Yadea app that you can use to connect to the scooter and control a couple settings, customize some stuff, unlock it and lock it remotely. Now, I'm not a big fan of apps for these things, and I also read all the reviews on the App Store about this app, and they were all like 1 star, like this app is terrible, it doesn't work well. So If you care about that, that might not be great if you need to have an app connected to your scooter. Something cool, and I hope it shows up, is that on the screen here, you can see on the top of the speed, you can see how much throttle input you're giving. And then if I'm braking, below it, you can see the green. That's how much regen brake is being used. So that's cool, a nice little touch. Thumb throttle here feels a little cheap. It does have this nice little rubber bit here though, so thumb won't slip off as easily. Handlebars are relatively comfortable, and the brake levers feel like typical mechanical brakes. Throttle response is pretty quick. It's consistent, which I appreciate. It's not instant, but it's consistent. One of the things about this scooter that I'm not hugely fond of is the handlebar height. It's just a little too tall for me. And I'm exactly average height for US males at 5'9". If you don't believe me, look it up. And they're just a little too tall for me. I feel like I reach almost up to them a little bit. Even though my arms are probably perfectly straight from the bend at my elbow, they just feel a little too tall. Like if they were like an inch or two lower, I think that would be great. It's not uncomfortable. The rider positioning isn't uncomfortable. It's just like a little too tall. The deck on this is a little bit small. I wear size 11s. My feet are kind of cramped on this deck. Like it's fine. It's just a little bit too small for my taste. Folding mechanism is pretty straightforward. There's a little latch here you have to push down, then you undo this main latch, and holding it down like this, there's this little thing on the handlebars here that you use to clip onto this little lip on the rear fender. Once it's folded down, it's not the most like sturdy, locked in place mechanism I've ever seen on a scooter, but it seems to do the job. This scooter does weigh 44.5 pounds, so it's on that hefty side for a scooter of this size. Still manageable. You can lift it up, put it in a car without too much of a problem. Unfolding is also pretty straightforward. You just lift that little latch thing up and close it there. Very easy. This does have a maximum rider weight of 242 pounds, so hopefully that can accommodate a pretty good variety of people. Also have a bell. So I think I covered pretty much everything, but in case you want to look at the full detailed specs or in case I missed something, I'm going to put up a screenshot so you can pause the video and take a look at all the full detailed specs for yourself. So one of the obvious questions is, who is this scooter for? Well, considering this is basically a very generic commuting style scooter, I would say if you want to commute in an urban environment and you want something that can get you there quickly and comfortably, this would be a great option. Now, of course, this is kind of the busiest scooter category, is like this 20 mile an hour, 500 watt motor commuting scooter. I feel like there's just so many options in this market of scooters, but this is a perfect option. Among those many, many options, this is a good one. I have very few complaints about this scooter. I think it does what it needs to do very well. Overall, I think the Yadea KS5 is a good scooter and is one you should consider if you're looking for something in this category. Now, when I tested the range, I got about 24 miles using mostly full throttle, almost always going close to the top speed and going up and down hills, because this is the real world and you're not always going to have a perfectly flat, perfectly smooth place to get the maximum range out of a scooter. Other than front suspension, which is a relatively uncommon feature for a scooter like this to have, I don't think there's any features that make it clearly stand out above the rest. Rather, I see this as another worthy option in this segment of scooters. And before I wrap up the video, I just wanted to give a shout out to Lumos helmets and thank them for partnering with us. Lumos makes a variety of really cool bike helmets that include headlights, brake lights, directionals, and some even have MIPS for added safety. They come in various styles and colors and are a great way to increase your safety out on the road. If you want to pick one up for yourself, head on over to lumoshelmet.co and use the code NowYouKnowLumos to get a discount on your order. Well, anyways, that wraps it up for this video. I hope you found it helpful. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. It helps the algorithm. Leave a comment down below. Tell me what you think about this, or if it's better or worse than other scooters you've seen. And consider subscribing if you like reviews of all kinds of electric mobility devices like scooters, bikes, motorcycles, and cars. We've got lots of cool stuff coming up, so we'll catch you next time. Now let's review.